you disappointed me. You know, last week I said to my dear friend and colleague and brother in arms, Kyle, that we would sell out of La Petite Bohème by noon, and we did not. And so because of that, Kyle.
Yes!
He won the bet. $1. It's yours. Spend it wisely.
$1 for 1 hour. You know, I'm going to put this towards the filming of these YouTube videos, maybe marketing.
Oh, okay.
Marketing.
Good.
Marketing. Just, I'm not a horrible person, but. Oh wait. Here. There, we'll put it right in there.
It's how when he wins in fantasy football, you know.
Yes.
Or loses. But that being said, we did sell out at 1 o'clock. Because when I looked at 12, we had 66 bottles left, and oh well. It is what it is. Today's offer is another one of these great, rare, vintage finds. You may have remembered we featured this wine from the 2005 vintage, the Chateau Verdignan. And the thing about the Chateau is that they actually hold wines back because they want the drinking public to taste what Bordeaux does with age. So when I went to, this one negociant and he had all these wines laid out in front of me, I'm like, man, I know that wine because we did the 2005 and he had the 2009. And the 2009, as you well know, it is a great vintage in Bordeaux. In fact, Parker threw more 100 points in 2009 than he did in any other vintage. And I hope I'm right on that one, but I think I am. In Bordeaux, that is. And maybe it was his swan song before he retired, but nevertheless, he did throw a lot of 100 points in 2009. And the reason why, because the wines are, it was a great vintage. It was the first vintage, actually, that Kyle and I went to Bordeaux and filmed our first Wine Geeks in Paradise for the 2009 vintage. In fact, we were at Pontet-Canet and Pavie and where else did we go? Bellevue, a few other wineries that we were there during harvest. It was Lafleur. Oh yeah, Lafleur. Sorry.
Fancy.
Yeah, kind of fancy. We were there for the vintage in 2009, and it's hard to believe it was 15 years ago. Where does time go? This is the 2009 Verdignan, and what I love about this wine is that it comes from the northern part of the Medoc, just north of Saint-Estèphe. And there's a saying that all great vineyards have a view of the river, like Latour and Pichon-Lalande and Montrose and Margaux, and I can go on and on and on. And so you have predominantly Cabernet Sauvignon. So there's 65% Cabernet Sauvignon, 35% Merlot, and the rest Cabernet Franc. The other thing about this wine, which makes this really cool, is it's enologist. He is like, how can I say? He's like the quiet guy. Because it's not like we're Michel Rolland, we know he consults all over the world. Duranicourt, who's now retired, but he was a big enologist. Now, Thomas Duclos is getting all his fame with the right bank with, Canon and, Beaujolais, Bicot and Traplamando and blah, 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 blah. This is Eric Boisonneau. And Eric Boisonneau is Lafite, Latour, Margaux, Pichon-Lalande, Pichon-Baron, Ducru Bocaillou. I mean, this guy consults for the top wines in the left bank, and he consults for these guys. Okay, you follow me here? So, 2009, unlike 2010, which we did on the Le Petit Bohème, 2010 was a very, stern vintage, like a vintage like it's going to age well. It's like it's one of 86 and 2016 later on. It's a big firm vintage where 2009 is like 15. And I really can't find a vintage before 2009 that's like 2009 because there's a lot of fruit in the wine, but there's a lot of structure too, which makes these wines age so great. And this, ooh, man. Wow. It's a big wine. It's a firm wine. It's an Eric Boisonneau wine. It's got structure. It's got tannin. It's got everything, and it's got fruit. Because that's sometimes what you miss when you have all this structure and tannin, is you miss that middle, that middle fruit character. Where now at 15 years, you're starting to get tertiary notes of, cedar, tobacco, leather, currants, as opposed to just as primary black and blue fruits. And that's what I love about Bordeaux. That's what I love about aged Bordeaux, is that you get complexity in the wines where, this wine, throw it in a decanter, you can probably leave it overnight even. It still has that much structure. Boy, they nailed it on this one. And you know what? 92 points as well. You're thinking 92 points. Well, 92 points back in 2009, that was a big number. Now everyone's like throwing big numbers all the time at wines. You see 95 point, blah, 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 from the Cantor World Wine Awards. And those have a lot of merit because they're blind. They do drink them blind, but they drink them blind within their price category. It's not like they're comparing, a $10 chateau to a $300 chateau, And with this wine, for me, it is what I love about aged Bordeaux, when it starts to kind of turn that corner. But this wine will go another 10 years, no problem. The structure of this wine is so built. And I think a lot of that has to do with the location of the vineyard, being the fact that it is a heavily gravelly soil, as opposed to their Couffron. Now, same owners, which has a lot of clay, so there's a lot of Merlot in that wine. So, new label, by the way. Looks pretty cool, actually. Heavier bottle. Well, kind of heavier bottle. And just a fantastic value for the money. We're $24.98. We're cheaper than anybody else in the country by $10 on the same wine. So, great value, great wine. Made by one of the greatest enologists on planet Earth. You know what to do.